cannabis and CBD and the effects and, medicinal. You got any questions you want to ask, Ms. Ball?
Did you guys touch on the lady who was at Disney World? Did y'all talk about that?
Oh, crazy.
What happened at Disney World?
Go ahead, talk about it.
Well, so did they search her or something with she had it in her purse, like her tincture or whatever in her purse?
Yeah, Grandma had some CBD tincture in her purse to
arrested
help
her.
her arthritis so she can walk around that overpriced place and pay, $80 for a fucking hot dog, offer them to put her in jail because she had CBD in her purse.
Are you serious?
This wasn't in Florida.
Florida arrested her.
Can't we
It was
just
nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Well, there's this kid that we've been talking to, the mom in Oregon, where cannabis is legal. Okay?
Yeah.
This little girl, she put out a plea. She's 11, had terminal brain cancer. Chemotherapy wasn't working. It was just making her worse. So the mom was going to take her out of the hospital and try other stuff. So she started giving her cannabis. It shrunk the tumor down to 10%. Months and months of chemotherapy did nothing. Cannabis within 3 months, down to 10%. The doctor found out and got pissed off and has called CPS, is trying to get her parental medicinal rights taken away. Because this doctor, guess what, gets kickbacks when this kid does chemotherapy.
Crazy.
This woman's also on the board of A Wish with Wings, who then rescinded the little girl's wish because she wasn't terminal anymore.
Wow.
Ridiculous. People's bias and own dumbass opinions get in the way of.
But your actual school is showing people how to do it the right way,
Correct.
legally, and be board certified,
Correct,
and things
correct.
like that, right?
Because with the hemp bill that passed,
I
hemp
was going to
farming.
ask you, is this Texas we talking about?
Yes,
yeah,
because it was passed. Just because something is passed federally,
right.
the states still have their own little. So right now, what Texas is trying to do, because it's passed, Sid Miller, the ag commissioner, is like, yes, I'm on board. We could grow more good hemp right now than we know what to do with. But Texas
All
has to
this
figure
land.
out how to get their
The money.
money.
Yeah.
It always go back to the money.
Yes,
Yeah.
and how to appease the big pharma who are about to start losing money because of this wonderful miracle. The fuel companies who are about to get, jacked because it can make fuel. The textile companies, all of it, because the prohibition really goes back to the 30s. With Ainslinger and FDR and the DuPont family and the Hearst family. We've heard of those people.
Right.
Paper and oil.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, basically, I mean, I think it was they classified marijuana as a class 1 drug.
A Schedule 1, yes.
Schedule 1 because it was easier to break down. It was easier to turn into cardboard and paper, and the lumber companies got afraid of that and said, "F that, we getting that shit outlawed to not be used in anything." So you can't use it for clothes, paper, cardboard. You think about what it takes to chop a whole tree up.
A whole tree.
The limbs and everything, and what it would take to just shred up the fibers of marijuana and make a piece of cardboard.
Not only that, but the land value that it takes to grow the tree versus how much the land value it takes to grow a plant.
Yeah, that
you see
too.
what I'm saying? So
that too, and it's crazy.
And then not only that, but in terms of from what I've seen before in my past life, marijuana, you can grow a bunch in a small area.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
especially
mean?
hemp. Like an acre of trees, it takes about 8 years to grow. Then you chop it down, you take away all that oxygen, you take away all that stuff that takes away all the bad stuff. Whereas hemp, you can grow an acre of hemp in about 3 months.
Yeah.
And when you start planting hemp, it cleans up the soil. They planted it at Chernobyl. Remember that big?
Yeah.
They planted it there, and
chemical
it's
spill.
started to clean up the soil.
What?
Yeah, and so
Wow,
and
you
that's
mean the
what hemp
radiation
does.
spot
Yeah, the radiation.
where
Yeah.
oh, okay,
It
that's
started
cool.
to clean all that up.
That's
so
what's up. That's what's up. Seriously, what jobs are available?
That's what's. But you know what? Honestly,
I got to get back to it. Like I'm curious about the job placement. I want to know what kind of internships are available for this industry at this moment.
At
You
this
know what I'm
moment,
saying?
like in this
Where
state,
people are at, because a lot of people are interested in your school, not only for the information, but they want to know how to get into the business.
exactly.
One thing that kind of pisses me off about the whole legalization of marijuana and the way it's getting legalized nowadays is because, I grew up in the, coming up in the 80s and the 90s. I seen a lot of my brothers, people I love, go down for slinging the same shit.
That's about to be legal.
But that now we got people walking around trying to sell them vials and bottles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And some of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
Some of the best to ever handle a brick or something.
Yeah, but see, like, I got mixed emotions about it too, because I kind of feel like if it's going to be that case, like even if it gets to the point where it will be legalized, then we have to kind of go and look at some of those laws that were previously written.
What about the people that's in jail still?
Not only that, but their records have to be cleared. You know,
well,
what I mean?
some
That's most
states are
important.
actually trying to expunge.
Yeah.
You know, the legalized states are actually trying to expunge these records and clean these records and get these people out of jail because
Right.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's,
most definitely.
It's ridiculous. But as far as like the industry right now, Oklahoma is so close to us, and good Lord, they are so far ahead of us in this. And
Well, so what are the difference in their laws than our laws here?
well, Oklahoma's got it going on with right here in Texas, there are 3 medicinal marijuana dispensaries. Do you know what you have to do to get a card? You have to have
This is what I wanna
retractable epilepsy, which means you have seizures so bad and you shake so bad, and that you've tried all the other doctor recommended treatments. There's tons of them out there, so make sure you try all of them. And then you have to go to one of the only 40 to 50 doctors in the whole state of Texas who's allowed to prescribe medicinal marijuana. Then you have to go to one of the other doctors who's allowed to prescribe it. You have to have 2 prescriptions,
That's crazy.
and then you go. The cap
And in California, I can just go to the store and buy something.
correct.
You need to
Nevada,
go to
you
the
can
store.
too.
Just log on your phone.
Yeah.
Nevada, Colorado,
They got Uber weed.
Boston,
Pre-roll.
all a
But
lot.
you would think with the money that the marijuana industry is bringing in Colorado and California, even Washington D.C. now, which is damn near legal.